Migrants from Siberia built 12,000-year-old Göbekli Tepe and eventually spread the culture to the world, according to a new theory. The potentially controversial Turco-centric hypothesis by Semih Güneri, a retired professor from Caucasia and Central Asia Archaeology Research Center of Doku's Eylül University, and his colleague Professor Ekaterin Lipnina, was presented at a congress held in Istanbul earlier this month. According to the researchers, there was a migration from Siberia that began 30,000 years ago before spreading to all of Asia and Eastern and Northern Europe. Güneri said the relationship of Göbekli Tepe high culture with the carriers of Siberian microblade stone tool technology is no longer a secret. He said the most important branch of the movement of people was to the Near East. He added, the results of the genetic analyses of Iraq's Zagros region confirm that traces of the Siberian/North Asian indigenous people who arrived at Zagros via the Central Asian mountainous corridor and met with the Göbekli Tepe culture via northern Iraq. The Upper Paleolithic migrations between Siberia and the Near East is a process that has been confirmed by material culture documents, Güneri claimed. Commenting on the transportation of stone tool techniques moving 7,000 kilometers, 4,350 miles westwards, he said, it is not clear whether this technology is transmitted directly to long distances by people speaking the Turkish language at the earliest, or it travels this long distance through using way stations. According to the archaeological discoveries, it is known that the Siberian people had reached the Zagros region, he said. He added, there seems to be a relationship between Siberian hunter-gatherers and native Zagros hunter-gatherers, adding that the results of genetic studies showed that Siberian people reached as far as the Zagros. Osman Karate, a professor from Ege University, said there were 3 waves of migration of Turkish tribes from southern Siberia to Europe. He added that most of the groups in the 3rd wave, which took place between 2600 and 2400 BC, assimilated and entered the Germanic tribes, and that there was a genetic kinship between their tribes and the Turks. He also pointed out that there were indications that there was a technology and tool transfer from Siberia to Göbekli Tepe region, and that it was not known whether people came, and if they did, whether they were Turkish. He added, around 12,000 years ago there would be no Turks as we know it today. However, there may have been tribes that we would call our common ancestors. Murat Öztürk, associate professor from İnönü University, said, talking about 30,000 years ago, it is impossible to identify and classify nations in today's terms. He also said it was not possible to determine who went where during any migrations from Siberia. Mehmet Özdogan, an academic from Istanbul University, does have a theory as to where the people of Göbekli Tepe migrated to, however. He said the people of Göbekli Tepe turned into farmers and they could not stand the pressure of the overwhelming clergy that started to migrate to 5 ways. Migrations take place primarily in groups. One of the 5 routes extends to the Caucasus, another from Iran to Central Asia, the Mediterranean coast to Spain, Thrace and the northwestern province of Kırklareli to Europe and England, and one route is to Istanbul via Istanbul's neighbouring province of Sakarya and stops. He claimed that shortly after the migration of these farmers, 300 settlements were established around northern Greece, Bulgaria and Thrace. He added, those who remained in Göbekli Tepe pulled the trigger on Mesopotamian civilization in the following periods, and those who migrated to Mesopotamia started irrigated agriculture before the Sumerians. So a series of controversial Turco-centric theories and claims there, perhaps expectedly from a series of Turkish academics at an event in Turkey. But could there be some connection between Siberia and the site of Göbekli Tepe, and was that cultural legacy then spread around the world as claimed? It is certainly true that Göbekli Tepe is almost infeasibly ancient and incredibly advanced for the date of its construction. With that in mind, there was obviously an advanced and skilled culture there 12,000 years ago, 7,500 years before the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza, and 7,000 years before Stonehenge was built. This knowledge surely didn't just vanish. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Thank you for watching.